Deeper learning to me is students internalizing content, language, and skills. They're learning throughout the school day, but also I think what's really important about deeper learning is that these connections are made outside in their regular lives as well, their lived experiences. And I really visualize it as a plant really sprouting its roots on the ground. And I think that as teachers, we need to create fertile spaces in our students' learning. And that's, I feel like, what we do in our classroom. But really, it's the root of that flower. And I believe that that's what deep learning is.
We're always thinking about ways that we can make our content relevant to our students. In today's lesson, students were collaborating with group members to take a familiar game and change it to teach about climate change.
Our goal was for them to not only practice collaboration skills, but also practice some key language words that we had been practicing over the course of the whole unit. In prior classes, we were really thinking about strategically and intentionally separating content, skills, and language. And today was almost like a culmination of that.
Here's our question for today. Let's read it together.
How can I change a game to share about a problem?
And what is change?
Okay.
And our goals for today. Ready?
Change a game to share about a problem. Agree and disagree with respect.
So today we are going to first play the games that we selected. Remember, everyone selected a game that they want to play? So with your group today, you're first going to play your game, and then next, you're going to use your glossary words and your signal words to talk with your group about the game rules, okay? And then after, we're going to talk about how does this game connect to climate change?
Very important. We are going to be working with our group. So I can connect my ideas to my classmates, to my group's ideas. Okay? So for example, I can say, Miss Liel, I like your idea because, and I can agree and disagree with respect. So I'm not going to say, Miss Liel, no, I don't like that. I can say, I disagree because, or I agree because, or in my opinion. So remember, we're talking and we want to use the English to help us, but if you need to finish it in Spanish or in Portuguese, it is okay. But we are talking with respect.
We have a few minutes, 3 minutes to play.
La estrella, la calavera.
You need a different one.
3 points. 3-0. El corazón, la mano, la dama, el negrito.
Now, you're going to be using your glossary words to talk about the game rules of your game. What are the rules? So we can explain using our signal words. First, next, then last. What are the rules of your game? So talk with your partner. You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, you need to make the tower, right? Okay.
And has a turn. And what does that person do?
So next, how do you call the people?
Take
one block.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one person takes a block. Last, how do you win?
Yes, first.
Uh-huh.
You lost.
But if the person takes it out and it falls,
And other
people win, right? Okay, awesome. So get ready to share. Draw a
Burn.
board. Pick out one. Next,
Next, you need to put the X in the square.
the X in the square or the X in the O.
Next,
Then
necesitas tener una línea de X o de O
you need to draw an X or an O.
para tener un punto.
And last, how do you win?
With the line, you need to line the X or the O.
Exactly, you need to make a line, right, with the X's or the O's to win. Awesome.
Okay, so we played the game. We talked with our group about what the rules are. Now we're thinking about how we can change the game rules. Okay? So I'm going to pass out this paper and we're going to be thinking with our group. Can we change the rules? Can we change the players? Can we change the materials? So talk with your group. What can you change?
Que, bueno, que un turno que tiene un turno alguien viene con una botella va a tener que explicar algo de esto.
No, digamos que el que la vote va a tener que hablar algo sobre, ¿cómo se llama? Sobre esto.
So what's your board going to be about? So it's lotería, but is this climate change? This is climate change? Las imágenes son cambio climático? No. So what can we do? Right? What can you change? El tablero can be changed. Okay? Tú puedes escribirlo en español, pero if you need to.
Entonces lo que vamos a hacer es de que cuando una persona pierda va a tener que hablar algo de si vos lo si la borráis. Okay.
Okay, what can we change? The rules of the game? How can we change the rules?
Okay, now we're going to share with the class the change of your game. Okay? So, what can you ask? How can we ask for help from the class? So, for example, Miss Leal, what do you think about changing green light to floods?
I agree, Miss Garcia, because when the sea level rises, it floods.
So right now, one group is going to share and the class is going to agree or disagree and help them. Okay? Is there a group that would like to go to share their change?
You changed the house, or you changed the X.
I changed the X to a house.
And then you changed
The
the O
O to a flooding.
to flooding.
1 minute. Did everyone hear Jose? Brian says, no, I didn't hear him. So can you ask him? How can we say, si lo puedes repetir?
Can you repeat because I don't know.
He didn't hear. Jose, so what were the new rules?
I switched the X for a house. Then I switched the O to a flooding.
Did you hear? Okay. Take 1 minute with your group to say, do you agree with Jose or do you disagree? 1 minute. Miss L, you can put the timer. 1 minute. Do you agree and why?
You agree? Do you have a different idea for Jose and Kawa? So you can look at your glossary too. So what else can they use? They have a house and they have the ocean for tic-tac-toe. What else can they use about climate change? Oh, they could use glaciers, a glacier, and then what else? What happens when the glacier melts?
Not every student is going to need the sentence frames, but we put them on each student's desk just to make sure that they know that this is the key language that we were hoping for them to use, but also ensured students that if they wanted to go off script, it was okay. So that's how we monitor students over scaffolding and students that may actually need that scaffolding. What does the group think? What does the class think about their change? What do we think?
I disagree with you because it's the same thing.
Ooh, it's the same game that we did last time, right? So Marco and Daniel, I know you guys were talking. How can you help them?
You can put another draft
And
like a people sick and
Which one's gonna be people sick and which one? Thank you, Miss Leah. What would the X be?
people sick.
Ooh, people sick. Why are the people sick? What would the O be?
The heat one.
Yeah, so the heat. There's too much heat. So how can we represent the heat?
a sun.
A sun.
Excellent.
So in your game, what can you change? Who can share with us?
One of these groups, because thank you, Kawa and Jose.
The O can be like a people and the X can be like the water and the O needs to be a line to win and the X needs like to block the O to don't be like line.
Ooh, so you're thinking about blocking. Okay, so this is something you can discuss with Jose when you start writing the new rules.
Okay, we need one more group to share about your game. So how can we change Jenga? How can we change Loteria?
When one people destroy the tower, he need to say one sentence about sea level rise.
Okay, so did you hear Cecia?
When a person destroys the tower,
Yeah, what's gonna happen?
the person say a sentence about the sea level rise.
Do you think that's a good idea? Do you agree? You do agree? Naomi, do you agree? Bethany, do you agree? Okay. Okay, so you can tell them you agree. Do you have a different idea?
Providing students with deeper learning experiences means providing students with multiple opportunities to practice their skills, collaborate with their peers, and share their ideas.
The long-term outcomes of students engaging in deeper learning is our students internalizing that key language. And what's great is maybe a few lessons after them being able to recall that language or apply that skill or that content without needing that teacher prompting or making those cross-content or cross-linguistic connections over time.